welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Van Eiderstein. Thank you for joining me today to start the second half of this year and kick it off with July 1st. I am thoroughly excited about this. Um, June ended just with a fantastic one. We ended June talking about um, how everything is running perfectly, right? Which, when you do the microcosm of today's society, which is micro, right? In the vastness that is eternity, we are very small, um, and it's all running well, regardless of how bad we're messing it up here. If we are messing it up, right? And that's the perception that's actually wrong, according to this last to June 30th reading. Uh, we are Everything is running exactly how it's supposed to. And when we can accept that, we can actually do better. And we can change and we can do things differently going forward. But we have to accept right where we are. Excuse me. But I'm looking forward to today's. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, of course, and always, meaning that you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading, because this will be the first time I hear it right on the podcast with you as I read it. So here we go. This will be today's reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations for July 1st. Wisdom is the aim of every philosophy. In whatever condition a man finds himself, he can always find the true. And he can find it only by utilizing his present condition as to become strong and wise. The effeminate hankering after rewards and the craven fear of punishment, let them be put away forever, and let a man joyfully bend himself to the faithful performance of all his duties, forgetting himself and his worthless pleasures, and living strong and pure and self-contained. So shall he surely find the unfailing wisdom. All that is beautiful and blessed is in thyself, not in thy neighbor's wealth. Thou art poor indeed if thou art no stronger than thy poverty. Thou hast suffered calamities? Tell me, wilt thou cure calamity by adding anxiety to it? There is no evil, but will vanish if thou wilt wisely meet it. Canst thou mend a broken vase by weeping over it? This one's kind of snarky. I like this one. What an awesome way to start this one out this year out with. Um, I like it. I do. I like it. A couple parts of it's kind of evolves, right? Like it talks about our mental mindset and how if are we actually poor, right? Are, calamities in life the best way to meet them is what? Complain and fret and have anxiety about them? No. I like how he summed it up in the last line. Can't thou mend a broken vase by weeping over it? What are you doing? It will not change that it is broken. That doesn't mean you might not be sad or feel a certain type of way. I understand that. But the reality is it is broken. The constant mourning over something broken will no more bring it back than anything else. So let's go through this one line by line. It's a great start to July, that's for sure. I'm excited to see the tone the rest of July takes if this is the first day. Wisdom is the aim of every philosophy, and I think that's a pretty widely accepted statement, right? Because a philosophy teaches you a perspective to take, and you can extrapolate wisdom from that. You can extrapolate a state of mind or consciousness to at least be considered, if not internalized. So, wisdom is the aim of every philosophy. All right, here we go. This is the main body of it. In every condition a man finds himself, he can always find the true. That's a It's a concept I wasn't familiar with. That's a concept I didn't understand for a long time. Because what I had when I was out in the world before I started living this way of life and changing my understanding and perspectives, the only thing I knew was my truth. That's a dangerous set of words there, my truth. Because I can make anything true in my world. But to differentiate between my current condition, you can always find the true. Like, and what's actually true about the situation was two different things. But I like to conflate them. I like to mix them together and say, nope, this is how it is. So to say what I believe I'm experiencing isn't always true was a monumental change in mindset for me. All right, he finishes that sentence out by, and he can find it only by so utilizing his present condition as to become strong and wise. So we have to be aware of what's going on in the moments. We have to be present. We have to be accepting of what reality actually is. Because when we can do that, we get the option. It doesn't automatically happen. We have to take the actual actions and make the effort. We talked about this directed and appropriate efforts, right? Well directed and appropriate efforts. And you can change the actions you're taking and to become strong and wise and learn from them. You can change your whole perspective and change your whole life in a moment if you're willing to accept it, reality for what it is. And that's kind of a really amazing thought for me, anyway. The effeminate hankering after rewards. I'm going to look that word up real quick. Okay, effeminate from Oxford. Having characteristics and ways of behaving traditionally associated with women and regarded as inappropriate for men. So more of talking about emotional here, actually. Um, so the emotional hankering after reward, so pleasure seeking, really, right? Gratifications, affirmations, things like that. And the craven fear of punishment. So yeah, fear. So desire for pleasure, fear of punishment. Let them be put away forever. Let the consequences never. Well, that's not true. Fear and pleasure should not be what we consider as the desired outcome or as the outcome or as the consequence of the outcome. Maybe. Maybe that's a better way to look at it. Like, they should not be the outcome we're shooting for, and they should not be what we're trying to get as a consequence of the outcome. We should not, and pleasure seeking should not be part of why we take an action, right? And fear should not be a reason why we don't take an action, right? Or even fear of punishment. We do the right thing for the right reason. Sometimes there's a reward, sometimes there's a punishment, but the right thing is always the right thing. That's what's interesting about it, the right thing to do. Let us put them away forever, and let a man joyfully bend himself to the faithful performance of all his duties, forgetting himself and his worthless pleasures, and living strong and pure and self contained. Wow, that is a powerful, powerful statement there, isn't it? Let a man joyfully bend himself to the faithful performance of all his duties, forgetting himself and his worthless pleasures, and living strong and pure and self-contained. We should be self-reliant. Like, build yourself as a man, build yourself as an individual to grow, to be self-sufficient, to be able to stand on your own 2 feet without the necessity for someone else telling you you can do it, without the necessity for anything outside of that. Strong and pure and self-contained. Pure, I think, is enough. I mean, strength is always desired characteristic, right? Strong, and to be able to stand up, and strong also being able to stick with your convictions and your moral compass, I think, should be included in that. Um, but pure, that's a big one. Purity, that pursuit of purity is huge at the end of the day. Why? Because that gives us our resolve, that gives us stability, that gives us a steadfast way of living. It allows joy and happiness and peace and contentment in our life by right living and purifying that soul, purifying our thoughts, purifying our actions, right? Purity gets some negative connotations these days, but to strive for purity in our actions, thoughts, and behaviors. I mean, that's everything, but and our intentions, excuse me. No, it wasn't everything. Intentions, our thoughts, our actions. To purify those, it would be is incredible. He finishes that statement with, so he shall surely find the unfailing wisdom. And the unfailing in wisdom is capitalized here. I don't refer to that much in this podcast, but as we go through these, they'll have certain readings that'll have certain words capitalized. And usually that's associated with God or the higher power or the source or whatever you're applying these spiritual lessons to. Um, so he shall surely find the unfailing wisdom. That's pretty substantial, right? That's pretty incredible. When we rate when we build ourselves to be strong, pure, and self-contained, meaning we control our emotions, we control our actions, we've purified them, we have strength and accountability for them and dedication to them, right? We get blessed with unfailing wisdom. We know what the right thing to do is because we've practiced. We've practiced this way of living for so long, there's not a question. We understand. Unfailing wisdom isn't a singular statement, it is a way of being. All that is beautiful and blessed is in thyself, not in thy neighbor's wealth. That covetousness we can have, that they have that, I want that. All that is beautiful and blessed is in thyself. When you can completely separate and detach from those things and grow internally and spiritually, your whole life can change. And then you can interact with the world in such a much healthier way. You can actually take actions appropriately. You can take more developed, or maybe not developed, but more direct steps to the path you want to take. And what a beautiful thing that is to be able to do, to have clarity is just a blessing I didn't know I needed, actually. Now, this is the part where he gives his little, are you poor, really? A little snarky part. Thou art poor? Thou art poor indeed if thou art not stronger than thy poverty. If you can't build yourself out of this, if you can't be a self-sustaining man, if you can't be that strong, pure, and self-sustaining man, you're being poor of spirit, really. Thou art poor indeed if thou art not stronger than thy poverty, right? If you let your poverty define your mentality, you're in a very bad place. Thou hast suffered calamities. Bad things have happened in your life. People have been hurt. You've had financial troubles, family troubles, relationship troubles. Tell me, will thou cure calamity by adding anxiety to it? Will you add more fear? Will you add more? Uh, will you lack faith? It's pretty. These are pretty heavy statements, actually. They seem to be off cuff, sarcastic almost, but it's true. The problem, it's not a problem. The reason why it's almost provocative is because it's true, and we don't like that it's true. I mean, there's part of me that doesn't like that it's true, right? I get anxiety sometimes. What's it do for me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Wastes my time, energy, and um, my mental and physical energy, and makes me make terrible decisions. Or I make terrible decisions based upon it. Better way to say it. Now, this is the cure, right? This is the solution to these things. There is no evil, but will vanish if thou wilt wisely meet it. There's no evil. There's no evil that can't be conquered. Maybe is a better way to say it, because it's ignorance in our minds. It's ignorance. It's selfishness. And when we turn and we face these monsters that we've built in our minds, these huge problems, situations, circumstances that we've built up, when we turn and we face those, they vanish usually. They vanish within the clarity of the light of spiritual living. And the whole world changes. And then you realize everything is possible. It's amazing. All right. And then this last line, I've already commented a little bit on. But canst thou mend a broken vase by weeping over it? Pain, right? Sadness, sorrow, griefs. These are real. But could be a controversial statement, but it's really selfish. Pain is like that. And pain usually shows where our own expectations or desires are not being met. Reality, pain is the distance you are away from reality, or the wishing that it was different. I'm not saying you won't experience it, or some things are extremely difficult to get through. I've lost a lot of people I've loved in my life. It's taken me a long time to understand that the reason it hurt so bad was because I expected them and thought I deserved them to be in my life for the rest of my life. And I don't think that was an unnecessary expectation. My brother died very young, comparatively. But it is a selfish thing that causes that pain because I wanted him here with me through this journey. So, anyway, beautiful reading to kick off July. I'm looking forward to the rest of this month for sure. Thank y'all for joining me again for another daily reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what butt kicking he brings us then, because this one was certainly one that says, um, do the right thing, live right, and quit complaining, in a nutshell. And you'll learn more than you realize. Pretty amazing. So thank you all again for joining me, and we'll be back tomorrow. Until next time, thanks.